Hey, I'm Cory Reeder, writer and director of Best Friend, the 2017 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge winner for Best Film and Audience Awareness Award. I want to talk to you today about crafting your story and the style of your film. These are things you can do before you even start writing your script. The first thing I do is I list all of my assets. I try to think of locations I have access to. You know, do I know somebody that has a cool apartment, or maybe they work someplace that I can film at, like a mechanic's garage or a flower shop. Then I think of anything I or people I know that might have their cool props or costumes. Maybe you know somebody that has a boat or a helicopter or a really cool antique gun or some cool witches costumes or a really nice tuxedo. The last thing I do is I try to get all of my actors organized. Not just the actors with disabilities that I'm going to be casting in my film, but the other actors too. And what I like to do is be open and honest with them up front. I say, hey, I haven't even written the script yet, but I like you as an actor, and I would love for you to just hold some time for me, because if I can write a part for you, I'm going to. I'm gonna let you know as soon as I can if I've got a part for you or not. And generally, everybody's really accommodating and super cool about that. The goal of all of this is before I even start writing the very first page of the script, I already have all of the items I can think of that are going to make my movie visually unique and stand out from the rest of the films. Once I have all my assets listed, I know what all the strengths can be about the story I'm going to write. Then Easterseals is going to send you the genre for the film and a couple of prompts that they want the film to be about. This is what you're going to build your story around. From my experience, a good story comes from a good character. And for a good character to be established, they need to have a goal. But if a goal is attained too easily, then it's boring. So what do you need? You need conflict. You need opposition, either a person or an obstacle that makes it hard for them to get. So then they have to overcome that to reach that goal. Let me give you an example of how I used all of these tools to be able to make Best Friend be the award-winning film that it was. I went to my landlord and asked him if I might be able to film Best Friend in the empty apartment across from mine. He gave me his permission. I had my cast all ready to go, and I had a friend of mine that had a dog with disabilities. I knew all of this stuff in advance, but I didn't know what the film was going to be about. And Easterseals sent out a prompt. The film was going to have to be a family comedy, and it was going to have to be about someone overcoming a big life change. So I got to work writing. I knew where I was going to put people in an empty apartment. Who goes to an empty apartment? People who just moved. So I established my characters moving from New York to Los Angeles and looking at an empty apartment. And from there, I had to figure out what the conflict was going to be. So I knew Jeton was the star, and I knew the conflict would be she didn't want to be here in Los Angeles.
I don't want to live here. I want to go back to New York.
And leave this sun and fun?
From there, I just let my imagination fly.
We picked our dogs.
So I was able to use the location that I had found in advance, the cast that I knew that was going to be in it, to come together and create, with conflict and goals, a great little story of a young girl finding a new best friend and getting a dog all at the same time. But there's one other thing I want to talk about. Maybe you don't want to make a narrative film. Maybe you're more artistic, more poetic. Maybe you're a dancer, or you have some special skill that doesn't necessarily showcase best in a narrative story structure. That's all right. You can use non-traditional filmmaking, experimental filmmaking. Maybe you want to shoot it in black and white. Maybe you want to add handheld movements to your camera the whole time. Maybe you want to have it kind of campy, like a soap opera where everything's melodramatic. Either way, you can still employ those things. I just encourage you, artist to artist, always consider your audience. That's who we make these for. We want to tell great stories that connect with an audience. So no matter how artistic and crazy you get, make sure that your audience is going to understand what you're trying to say by your film, because that's how you build an audience, that's how we connect, and that's what's magical about making movies. So with all of this, I hope I'm giving you a little bit of insight on how you can create a great award-winning film in this year's Disability Film Challenge. I wish you a lot of luck. I can't wait to watch your films this year at the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. We'll see you on the red carpet.